Hi, I'm Angela Hesketh, Head of Market Development at PEXA UK, and I'm travelling around Australia at the moment to see how the PEXA journey evolved and what the impact of that has been.
My name is Craig Radford. I'm a principal here at Denny Conveyancing. Been conveyancing for 25 years, so started here in 2000, became a partner in 2014, essentially the principal since 2023. We undertook the first PEXA transaction in Australia, I'm told in the world, in 2014. So that first transaction we described it like a moon landing. It was a bit of a slow process. Everything was a little bit manual at the back end. So despite the fact that we were real time on PEXA and transacting, in the background everything was being checked prior to the next step happening. So the transaction took around about an hour and a half. Typically now we see something happen in about 15 minutes. So it was a little bit of a drawn out process. Everyone was on the phones, everyone was in the room. It was pretty exciting, and certainly for us, it was a big step in conveyancing in New South Wales. Electronic conveyancing was talked about for probably 15 years before it actually came in. And so we had a few false starts, and I think everyone was kind of excited by the prospect of it. We did have problems with documentation, requisitions from land registry, those sorts of things, settlement issues with checks, and we didn't have electronic payments at that point. So it certainly was a very manual process. And it was just pretty exciting to right at the coalface of that change for the industry. We took on the role of a bit of an industry leader in trying to convince people to come on board. At that time it wasn't mandatory, so trying to convince them just to give it a go and see how it went. And typically we would find that first transaction that someone jumped on board and did convince them to basically jump on board and convert their processes to take on electronic conveyancing. We were getting updates of new financial institutions that were getting involved, so the scope was getting larger and larger in terms of transactions. PEXA really just jumps in to do the settlement process. That is it, the settlement and registration process. It's not there to replace conveyancers, it's there to be a time saver for conveyancers. Because it's just become second nature that it settles electronically. So certainly we're excited by it when it was first touted. Now we'd be horrified, I think, if we didn't have that procedure and that process and that facility. We'd be saying, jump on board, give it a go. Once you see how it operates and how it works, you'll be as excited as we were after that first transaction. And then it's just about spreading the word and getting people involved, convincing other parties, because the more parties that are involved, the more transactions that can occur. And I think that's the key to it, is just getting everyone involved and seeing how it works, seeing that it's reasonably foolproof and that things just work on settlement day. So I think that's the key, just getting everyone involved.
PEXA, confidence in completions.